Welcome to Atlanta's Commercial Real Estate Show, brought to you by Bull Realty, the show for property owners and business leaders. Host Michael Bull brings you market analysis, advice, and opportunities around Atlanta.
Welcome to Atlanta's Commercial Real Estate Show. This segment is sponsored by Bull Realty Asset and Occupancy Solutions. You may recognize the name. Visit bullrealty.com. My guests are Liz York, she's with CDC, and Andrea Penabel, and she's with Southface. And let's talk about the Better Buildings Challenge, because I think it's really important to companies in Atlanta, whether you lead a company or you're in the commercial real estate world, to think about the sustainability and cost savings of the Better Buildings Challenge. Briefly tell Atlanta, what is it and who is participating?
Absolutely. So the ABBC, or the Atlanta Better Buildings Challenge. The BBC, actually the overall program, was developed and launched by the Department of Energy back in 2011. And the goal was by the year 2020 to reduce energy consumption by 20%, and then it was just energy. And then a few years later added water consumption by 20% by the year 2020. Atlanta actually joined in 2012, so we were very much an early adopter and have led the pack ever since. We are by far the largest BBC participant in the country, with over 600 buildings, about 625 buildings, and about 111 million square feet under the program's umbrella.
That's fantastic. And how much savings are you seeing some of these buildings are obtaining?
It's pretty incredible. So we are, as an Atlanta Better Buildings Challenge, we're just under 20%.
Wow.
Which is incredible, and we're going to march towards that overarching goal. But what's really interesting is that we've saved enough energy, equivalent of 200,000 homes, the energy consumption of 200,000 homes, and 1,973 Olympic swimming pools of water, which is about 1.3 billion gallons.
Wow.
And we've added about $49.1 million to the regional economy through the investments that the commercial real estate participants have put into this program of about $55 million. So $55 million of capital investment have gone into the commercial real estate across the Atlanta metro.
Okay, so I want my tenants that we represent to be in buildings that are participating in this. How can we find out the buildings that are participating?
So there's two primary websites. It's the ABBC, Atlanta Better Buildings Challenge.org. And if you want specifically the data that goes along with it, that's the energy savings, the water savings, the economic development impacts, the health impacts. That's abbcdata.org.
Okay, and that's for all the properties involved in the city of Atlanta, or each individual property?
Overall city of Atlanta, and then you can go in and look at some of the participating buildings and companies. Yeah. We try, because it is a voluntary program, and some of the benefits is seeing how your buildings are performing against your competitive set. We're very careful not to call out any particular, but if you are a building that's participating, you have all the benchmarking.
Yeah, it's nice to have those benchmarks.
Absolutely.
And CDC is a good example here in Atlanta of some of the savings you guys have achieved, right?
So one of the biggest things is that we've saved a lot of water. We've really focused on water. We've also saved energy. We've, in the last 10 years, we've reduced our energy use overall, and that's in Atlanta, but also at our campuses across the nation. We're right at that 22% mark. So, this is it's a big deal. We do it in small ways like lighting, but we also do it when we design a new building. We design for better energy efficiency.
Yeah. So what else do people in Atlanta know if they run a business or own a building or manage a building, manage a building? What can they get out of the Better Buildings Challenge to help their business?
So one of the things we've been doing this past year is CDC has partnered with the Atlanta Better Buildings Challenge to be a provider of wellness content. So we've done a couple of meetings where people come to CDC, they hear from the experts, from scientific experts, what are the things that they can do in their buildings to have their buildings be healthier. Healthier building, it keeps the occupants happier, healthier, more productive, and they're going to be they're going to be staying if they're one of your employees. They're going to be renting again if they're a tenant. We just find happier, healthier buildings are better all around.
Yeah. I think, one of the things that's very beneficial about the BBC program is it helps buildings be compliant with the City of Atlanta's benchmarking ordinance. So in 2011, the city passed a commercial real estate ordinance, which required businesses at that time over 50,000 square feet to not only do an energy and water assessment, but also then track your assessments through the Energy Star portfolio manager and be able to achieve some of these reductions. So what the Better Buildings Challenge allows you to do is be able to get free resources, free education, and be able to actually not try to reinvent the wheel yourselves, but actually learn from each other and to find incentives for doing some of the improvements on the buildings that are necessary. And as that ordinance has changed last year, that the square footage dropped to 25,000 square foot buildings and higher, and next year it includes multifamily. And so it's better to sort of get on board with what your options are and what some of the opportunities are before you're actually mandated to do it. Right?
Yeah, and you can see some examples at Southface and your website, southface.org.
Yes, sir.
And you can see some examples there. And at CDC, your website, you have some helpful information.
We do. We have free tools for making your buildings healthier. I can get you the information, but it's cdc.gov, and then you just look for I think the Chronic Disease Center is where most of those tools are.
Yeah,
residing.
and we'll put the link if you go to commercialrealestateshow.com and click the Atlanta tab. In this show, we'll have the links to these things. So,
Great.
Well, great information. Thanks for joining us.
Good, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you for joining us anywhere in Atlanta. And we will see you next time.